Hi, Grandma. Thank you for agreeing to do this interview with me.
Oh, you're more than welcome, sweetheart. I love doing all this kind of good stuff. I think it's a lot of fun.
Good. So I have a few questions for you to get to know you more and learn about your past.
Oh, good, very good. We have a lot of big past because I'm so old, but that's okay.
How old are you, Mom?
I'm 86, 7, I don't know.
9.
89.
89. All
You're
right.
gonna be 90 soon.
Yeah.
This is year 2016, almost 2017.
No, which?
So, what activities did you do for fun and entertainment as a child?
Oh, I did a lot of roller skating because I love to roller skate. And we used to have games out in the street because we had no park or anything like that. And that was good. We had a lot of fun. Had a lot of boyfriends, which was great. Well, you want the truth.
That's a lady.
How old were you when you had your first boyfriend?
I was about 13.
13.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was in grammar school, and then we graduated, and then I went to high school, and then I had a different boyfriend. I always had boyfriends.
Boyfriends?
I used to love, well, I like boys. I still
Yeah. I like them too.
Yeah.
What were the fashion trends when you were a teen? Like, did you wear pants or skirts
No.
or dresses?
Yes, always skirts and socks, and the brown and white shoes.
Saddle shoes?
Yeah, and I guess you call them sandals. But I was always dressed, nice. I thought was
Yeah.
pretty sharp, and so that was what I drew. I always had a skirt. At that time, nobody wore pants, and so that was skirt.
Do you have a favorite memory of your past?
I have all my memories. Great. I have good. Yeah,
There's so many.
there's a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm so old. And I remember when I was in grammar school, I remember when I was in high school, I remember all the times I went dancing. I love to dance, I still do. But dance, past tense.
Did you drive?
Oh yes, I learned how to drive. Your grandfather taught me how to drive.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was your first car? Do you remember?
Oh, we had this bomb. We had this old car, which was, we were keeping company. And he bought this old car, and it was like a piece of junk. And I said to him, I'm not going to ride around in this junk. I said, you got to get another car. So he went and he bought this beautiful car it was just gorgeous.
What color was it?
It was green.
Green?
Yeah. And it was a nice car. Because I wouldn't ride in a junk.
No.
So,
Was it stick or automatic?
oh, everything was stick. Because at that time, nobody had automatic. But I drove, went with him. I didn't drive because he taught me how to drive when I was 19. Yes, on my 19th birthday. And we went scooting around town, which was a smaller town than where I live now. But it was really a lot of fun.
Nice. How old were you when you had your first TV?
My first CD?
TV.
Oh, TV. I have to think. I was about 18.
18.
Yeah, when I was keeping company, and that was, I was about, 18.
18.
Someplace.
What inventions took place when you were a teenager
Oh,
besides the TV?
the airplanes.
Oh.
Yeah. And the nice cars, planes. People years ago didn't fly around like they do now.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So, but it was good.
What was your first job and how old were
Oh,
you
I
when you
was-
got it?
16. I loved my job. I worked in the 5 and 10. And I worked there for several weeks. And then
What did you do?
I had my own counter. At that time, you had a counter. And I have stockings, either Bobby socks or whatever. And I was so, because I came home one day and I said to my mother, oh, I got what do you call it?
Promotion.
Yeah, I got a promotion. I'm getting my own counter, which was really, and
That's
I was
exciting.
so excited. Oh, yeah, I was so excited. And so my mother turned around and said to me, "You can't quit that job. I'm going to work." And I was like heartbroken because it was my first job, and I loved it. Had a good time in the 5 and 10. My girlfriend Mary had the candy department. Not that I ate candy, but she cut her hand too, and that was another whole story. But that was my first job. I loved it.
So you were in high school.
I was in high school. I had to take the bus leaving the school and ride down on the in the bus to where the store was downtown. And
How many people do you think went to college after high school?
one,
One?
yeah.
Wow.
Because it was a boy in my class, and he was the only one that was going to college. And we thought, oh, that's stupid, he's going to college. But, now it's a different story. At that time, nobody went to college.
Did prom exist?
Excuse me?
Did prom exist?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, did you go?
I couldn't go. My boyfriend at that time was in the service.
He was?
Yes, and he couldn't get home.
For what war?
The Second World War.
The Second World War?
Yeah.
What was his name?
Harold.
Harold?
Yeah, Harold Morrell. And he was tall and handsome, and he had that, sailor. You know how you don't know how the sailors, but he was so handsome.
Yeah, what happened to Harold?
Well, he died.
He died?
Yes.
How did he die?
Well, really, he died because he was in service,
Oh.
and he really got sick. I don't know what kind of sickness he had, but I remember his mother or his sister came to my house and called me up and told me he was very sick. So then they told me they were going to Boston, and they were taking me with them, and which was a terrible thing because he was so sick. We went to Boston to see him in the hospital, and when he was that's where he died, in Boston, which was so sad.
That's sad.
Yeah, it was so sad. He was 19 years old and too young. Yeah.
How old were you when you met Grandpa?
When I guess, well, I knew him all my life, but when, I guess I was 16, 17, when I started dating and stuff.
You met him after Harold died, so from work, Westinghouse.
Yes, I worked in Westinghouse, and my boyfriend and everybody came to the funeral and the wake. So sad. 18 years old. So, but.
What town did you grow up in?
Jersey City.
Jersey City?
I live in Jersey City all my life. All my friends were from Jersey City, and that was it.
How and why did your ancestors come to the United States?
I know my parents came to the United States because my mother didn't get along with her father, and they just packed up and left. And
How old were they when they left?
22, 23, something like that. Yeah.
Did your parents speak a different language or just English?
They spoke English and French.
Do you know anything about your grandparents' life in Belgium?
No,
No.
I just know that my mother didn't get along with her father, and that's how come they came here.
How old were you when you married Grandpa?
I was 19 years old.
You were 19. And when did you have your first kid?
The next year,
Next
Walter
year?
was born. Yeah. 20.
Did you always want 8 children?
I always wanted a big family, but I didn't think I was going to have 8. But I really always, before we were married, I remember we got engaged in my house in Jersey City, and I remember saying to him about having children. I said to him, how do you feel about having children? And he said, that's fine. What do you got? But I said I always wanted a big family, but I didn't expect to get 8. I thought maybe 4. At that time, that was a lot. But I wound up with 8, which is good.
Yeah.
God was so good to me. I just love him to death. Some of you, all these kids.
Did the Depression affect you? The Great Depression?
No,
No, it did not.
because I was too young to know. I was in high school. What did I care what was going on?
So the Great Depression did not affect you, but what did you think when John F. Kennedy died, his
I was
assassination?
devastated. I thought that was the worst thing in the world that could happen. I was in the supermarket. I'll never forget. Yeah, when he was shot and killed, and everybody was, oh my God. So I got in the car to come home and tell my husband, and because he didn't know anything, and I told him. I got in. He's laying on the couch there, like always, watching Cowboys or whatever. And I said to him, I got to change the channel. I said, because the president's been shot. And he said, the president's been shot? And he was like shocked to death. But I just changed the channel. And of course, all the news, everything was about him.
Wow.
And that was so sad. Young guy, too.
What did you think about the Vietnam War?
I didn't think too much about it, except I didn't like it because I was afraid if they ever won, they'd be coming over here and taking all these young kids. That's the only thing
Do you remember when the man landed on the moon?
Oh, yeah. That was a big thing, too. That was
Did you watch that on TV?
Oh, yeah. Everybody. We were away on vacation. I forget where we went. And we come back because we heard that this had the guy who landed on the moon. So we hurry up and come home, and then we put the TV on. That's, what we did.
Do you remember what you were doing when Pearl Harbor occurred?
I'm trying to think. Pearl Harbor. Oh, that's when they bombed Hawaii.
Yes.
Oh, that was a terrible thing. So we all the whole country got very patriotic because they bombed us. And we were very upset. In fact, the group of guys, friends that I had at that time, joined the service. In fact, I had my one boyfriend join the service. He went and joined up, and he come and he says to me, I just joined. And some of them joined the armies, different branches. But he had joined the Navy, and I said, what are you doing that for? And then he had to go home and tell his mother, and who was kind of having a fit. But that's what happened. He went. Well, we had no graduation class or prom or anything because all the guys were gone. They all joined the service.
Wow.
So that was the end of my graduation time.
How did your parents get to the United States?
Oh, they came on a boat.
They came on a boat.
Yes. And my mother was sick the whole time. I think, yeah. She said when she got here, she would never go back anymore. And I just always thought it's because she left her parents. But now I look back, I don't think so. I think she was so sick. And she said she wasn't going to make that trip because that was far, you know. So anyway, that was the story on that.
When you were younger, how did you get the news? Because there was no, like, computers and
No.
things.
It was all from school or from the news. That's about it. Radio. Yeah, radio.
How did you keep your food cold? Like, there wasn't a refrigerator, right?
Oh, we had a refrigerator.
Yeah.
I remember when my mother bought the refrigerator. It was a big thing. We were so thrilled to get it. We were waiting for them to deliver, and because we never had that. And so finally the truck came and brought the refrigerator in and pulled it up. We plugged it in. It was so exciting to watch it working, and everything was kept cold, the milk, and it was really, really good. So.
Where did you and your parents travel for vacation? when
Oh,
you
we
were
always
younger?
went down to South Jersey on vacation because we used to go to the same area all the time. And in fact, then when I was there, I met a couple of boys from that lived there. And so every time I went, I would see these kids, you know. Anyway.
How did Grandpa propose to you?
How did he propose to me? We were we lived in Jersey City, and we lived and I guess it was an apartment, and your grandfather said to me, you want to get married? We'll get married. I think, because we were keeping company, and not really many people did that, but that's how he really proposed and said, I love you, we're going to get married, and I didn't think it was going to be that soon, but we got married, and we kept company from December to that winter, and then that following year we got married. It was wintertime, freezes cold. In February, stupid. But anyway, that was good.
Did your mom have any siblings?
Yes, she had a sister in Belgium.
In Belgium?
Yeah, and
Did she come over to America as well?
no. My mother, when she left
Everything?
ice cold, yeah. And which was, I didn't realize it at the time, but it must have been very hard for my grandparents that they did that, you know.
So, what did you do on Saturdays as a kid?
Oh, every Saturday, my mother gave me 10 cents for me and 10 cents for my brother, and we went to the movies. We walked all down Jersey City on Central Avenue and went to the movies and saw they had come attractions every week, and they showed, whatever was playing for the following week.
Was it like popcorn or anything?
Not really. They had it, but I didn't have no money to buy it, so.
Did you listen to the radio?
I listened to the radio every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday, because on Sunday after dinner, we would listen to the radio, my parents and I, and we would listen and see what was on or what was playing, and then we put this program on which was called Inner Sanctum. It was a good thing. 15 minutes, that's all you got, and then the radio went off, and which was fine. You didn't know the difference. You didn't know it. So then when we got the TV, it was like heaven. And I remember when I used to watch TV, Walter and Dana were infants, and we had moved into the apartment with grandmothers. And when we got the TV, I was home by myself, and I was so thrilled that I could see a program. And I used to watch every week, not boxing, wrestling. I got into that, and then I knew the people, and stuff like that, and I loved it.
How many channels was on your TV?
There's maybe a couple, not many. We just had channel 13. That's the only channel we got.
Oh.
And then that was it.
Wow.
When it was fresh, it just went off. You didn't have to do nothing, and the picture went off. But it was wrestling, and I loved wrestling.
At what age did you start going to church?
That's a big question. I started going to church when I was a little girl. My neighbor took me, and that's when I started going. I was about 6 or 8, and so yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
Do I have siblings?
Yes.
Yes, I have one brother who was,
How
well,
much younger was he?
he's 6 years younger than me. I don't think he ever went to church until he met my Aunt Carol, and then they went to church because she was always very family oriented.
Talk about the woman, though, when you were a teen that you saw going to church.
Oh, the woman, I saw this woman every day when I was going to church, when I was going to work, I should say. And I would see her standing on the bus on the corner where the bus stop was, and she would be going in and out. And I thought, where the heck is she going? What is she doing? And I didn't know till one day I followed her in the place, and she was going to church. And that was the first time I was inside of a church, because before that, when I went to work, I would see this woman, but I didn't know where she was going, and I didn't follow. In the beginning, I didn't know what was going on until she went to church, and then I saw her in church. Then it's the first time I was in Catholic church with all the beautiful everything. And that was the first time I had been in any kind of a church. First of all, it was a Protestant church. And then, of course, I went. I'm trying to think how old I was when I went to see a Catholic church. I don't even remember.
It's okay. Was your brother in any wars?
Yeah, my brother was in the Korean War. And that was a big thing, too, because we were fighting the Koreans at the time. And so that was...
How did your parents like that, your brother was in the war?
No, my father was very upset. He was afraid he was going to be killed. And so I remember when he came home, I guess he was on leave, and we went to the beach, and we went swimming. And my brother's laying there under the water. My father, I didn't know it, but my father saw him like drowning, and he went and picked him up, and they had to work on him when he was only a young boy. And that really shook me up to see my father trying to bring his son back with the breathing. trying to breathe into him and stuff like that.
CPR.
Yeah, CPR. Yeah, which they didn't have at that time either.
What nationality are you?
I'm Belgium. I'm
Belgium.
Catholic.
How did your parents meet?
How did they meet?
Yeah.
My mother worked as a waitress, and my father came from the war. I guess he was on leave or whatever. And he went into this place, this restaurant, and that's how he met my mother.
Were your grandparents happy or sad that your parents were moving to the United States?
They didn't even know until they were gone.
Yeah.
That was another thing that always, I wondered what happened there. Yeah. So.
What type of work did your parents do when they arrived to the United States?
Okay, my mother worked as a seamstress. She made bras. Yeah, all her life she made bras. And so then when she came to this country, and I always remember the story, she came on a train. She was only off the boat, didn't know where she was. And my husband said, come on, I'll take you to New York to get a job. He goes, takes her to New York, and comes home without her. He just left her there. She always told us about how afraid she was to come, because she had to take the train and, come home by herself, find out where she lived in a different country. She didn't know where she lived. It must have been a big trauma. I didn't pay attention at the time, but I think it had to be traumatic.
Where did your parents live when they arrived?
Oh, they lived in Jersey City. Yeah, my parents lived first in Hoboken, and then they lived in Jersey City.
Did they live with somebody?
They lived with my aunt and uncle, who had about 6 kids at the time. Like
Whose
crazy.
aunt and uncle?
My aunt and uncle. My aunt was my father's sister.
Oh, your father's sister.
My father's sister. And that's how, you had somebody sponsor you. So when they get off the boat, they were there at the dock waiting for them, because they knew that they were coming. And
So your parents had to enter the United States through Ellis Island?
Yes, they had to come through Ellis Island. And I think everybody, the whole ship, had to come like that. People, all, like they were greenhorns, all Belgium people, like you could see. Well, I remember when the Italians came and when the French came, and the whole bunch of these people would come here. And
Do you know how long it took to get from Belgium to here?
Weeks.
Oh, it did.
It took a long time. Yeah. Because my mother's sick as a dog. She was so.
Do you know what a greenhorn is, Liz? It's a
No,
foreigner.
you don't know.
A greenhorn is a foreigner.
A foreigner, yes. A greenhorn. I'm so used to saying greenhorn, I shouldn't say that anymore, because we don't talk to people like that.
Thank you, Grandma, for letting me interview you.
Oh, you're welcome, sweetheart. I love doing
Love
it.
you.
I love you, honey. Keep up the good work. You're doing so good.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I'm shrinking.
You used to be 5'5", but now you're like 5.
Okay.